Welcome to the Tankspot Tanking Reference. My name is Ciderhelm, I'm the administrator of Tankspot.com. This movie is part of a series that covers general tanking theory and other practical information. If you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to check the companion links in the movie information box. There are three types of awareness that tanks need to learn. The most basic of these three is tactical awareness. This is premeditated and covers how you handle the pull that you're expecting. For instance, if you know you're getting 5 mobs in a given pull, and you know how you're going to handle those 5 mobs, you may have a solid tactical awareness. This is the earliest level of skill a tank should pick up, and this can work effectively for new tanks or off tanks. Tactical awareness covers many of the basics of tanking, as well as some of the more advanced decisions tanks can make. For instance, a tactically aware tank understands how to handle a large pack of mobs, and how movement is handled differently than it is with a raid boss. Tactical awareness also covers basic ability usage like class rotations, as well as interrupts and debuff management. All gear management falls into the category of tactical awareness. This is because gear must be planned in advance of a pull, and for the most part cannot be changed in combat. Tactical awareness is always important. Most tanking guides and information deal strictly with tactical awareness since it contains the most universally true principles in the game. For these reasons, tactical awareness will tend to be one of the first and most developed skills an aspiring tank learns. The second of these three types of awareness is situational awareness. This is what allows you to respond and react to changing situations, such as additional mobs aggroing or new adds being randomly introduced into an encounter. The type of tank who methodically waits and marks every pull in an instance, then is upset or unable to cope when something unexpected happens, has not learned situational awareness. In practical terms, situational awareness means having a clear knowledge of all of the elements currently engaged and all that can potentially be engaged. Beyond this, it means understanding those elements and how to make best use of them. For instance, a tank who is situationally aware might grab a pack of enemies pathing away, because they understand that letting the pack go could cause an undesirable downtime for the party or raid, as those enemies will start pathing near other enemies. The value of a situationally aware tank will become very apparent in a party or raid setting. When a party or raid member accidentally pulls an enemy, the response of the tank is telling. If the tank adjusts immediately and picks up the new enemy, they are situationally aware. If the tank makes an attempt to recover the situation, but doesn't respond immediately or in the most effective way, they're still learning. This tank is likely to be making mental notes on the pulls involved for the future. If a tank makes no effort to prevent a wipe, instead opting to blame the player who made the mistake, then they have not learned situational awareness and are still operating at a very basic level. Situational awareness is not designed to teach you to be reactive. Instead, for a knowledgeable and serious tank, it will be the most proactive form of play available. It will allow you to pull farther and faster than you could otherwise, and this will help you in developing better party and raid members. A main tank should be striving to learn and improve their situational awareness. The final type of awareness is encounter awareness. This is the most difficult skill to pick up because it requires a large amount of time and the desire to learn. It's a skill you develop naturally by raid tanking and leading, but it can be accelerated by practicing it whenever you get a chance. Encounter awareness is not, as the name suggests, an understanding of the mechanics in an encounter that affect you as a tank. That is actually a facet of situational awareness. Instead, encounter awareness is having a deep well of knowledge of all of the encounter mechanics and also on each of your raiders, their skills, and what they're supposed to be doing at any given time during a pull. I'll illustrate encounter awareness by describing the original 4 Horsemen, an encounter I still consider to be the most enjoyable and most difficult encounter I've tanked. Similar to the current encounter, the original 4 Horsemen had the raid spread to all 4 corners at any given time. However, the back 2 Horsemen needed to be tanked similar to the front 2, and a room-wide tank and healer rotation was required. For many guilds, including ours, this involved 2 alternating and interlocking sets of 4 tanks each, meaning 8 total tanks in the rotation. As the raid leader and tank, I learned to identify the cause of death on any of our tanks or healers based on their location in their rotations and when they died. At the same time I tanked and continued with my own rotation, I was watching the raid health bars. At one point, a tank died on the opposite side of the room, outside of my line of sight. Because I had learned encounter awareness, I was able to immediately call out for a change in the rotation and move both a healer and a tank up 1 mark early. We were able to cascade this broken rotation long enough that we could kill off both Thane Korthaz and High Lord Mograine and successfully finish the encounter. Another example of where encounter awareness was useful to me occurred on the original Mexna. To survive the 2 enraged web wraps we had to deal with, I would receive a Blessing of Protection to force aggro to my off-tank temporarily so he could shield wall. The off-tank disconnected. We needed to adjust for this very quickly or risk a lengthy wipe recovery. Because I understood the mechanics involved, I asked our 4 Fury Warriors to move to the opposite side of Mexna from the raid. When the enraged web wrap came, I received the Blessing of Protection. After the wrap finished, all of the Fury Warriors were dead, and she was back on me. Had I not made this call, her originally powerful frontal AoE would have quickly wiped the raid. Encounter awareness is also a means of having a bit of fun during encounters. In our guild, we like to kill our warlock wherever possible. During Sartharian with Drakes, our feral druid decided to shadow meld to force aggro off of him while he was tanking Sartharian. He knew Sartharian would immediately turn to the warlock and attack him, hopefully killing him. He also understood that even if Sartharian began casting a breath, he could be taunted back and not hit the raid. Even though we were finishing out a kill with one of the more dangerous encounters in the game, and a failure would have wiped us, this was a completely safe decision because our feral druid understood the encounter on an intricate level. The only downside was that the warlock used Soul Shatter. Though these types of situations are rare, preventing wipes and achieving first kills through the quick responses encounter awareness can produce will provide some of the most valuable raiding memories. Both encounter awareness and tactical awareness benefit greatly from effective changes to your user interface. For instance, encounter awareness really necessitates the use of healing bars such as Grid, but I've also found mods like Failbot to be useful for quickly seeing cause of death. Tactical awareness is improved with solid keybinds and bar mods and can be additionally improved by assigning raid icons to easy-to-access keys such as your numeric keypad. However, while situational awareness benefits from good keybinds and mods, it will see by far the greatest benefit from effective camera use. The principle of camera control is simple. Have your camera positioned so you can see every possible problem and every possible opportunity. In some cases, like Patchwork, you don't need to move your camera at all to achieve this, since there are not outside variables that can occur. However, in most cases, you will learn the constant adjustment of motion of camera required to be effective if you're willing to learn. Camera control is always extremely important in fast-moving raids and 5-mans. Having your eye on everything allows you to pull more effectively and skip unnecessary trash and avoid multi-pulls. It also allows you to quickly respond to new adds both in boss encounters and on trash, where reacting to unexpected pulls instantly will keep raiders alive and eliminate downtime. In this clip, I'm using my camera to quickly scan for Ageragos. It's important to learn how to identify events or targets very quickly. For instance, in the first phase of Kel'Thuzad, you'll notice I rapidly scan my camera around the room. When I'm doing this, I know I'm looking for an abomination, and I'll keep rotating my camera until I see it. I use this same type of scanning when I'm watching for spark locations on Malygos. By quickly identifying spark locations, I can plan my movement both when I'm coming out of the vortex and when I'm moving Malygos around the raid so sparks will cross over them. If you've learned from this or you've enjoyed it, please consider making a donation to Tankspot.com. As always, donors can download this and other high-definition movies directly from our website. If you're watching this on YouTube and have any questions regarding this movie, please check the movie links in the information box. Thank you.